you disagree with these takes?
No way.
No way.
Or do you approve?
Oh, no doubts. No doubt in my mind.
No diggity, no doubt.
It's time to ask Michael Lombardi, no way or no doubt.
All right, Michael, let's get into it. See if you agree or disagree with some of these thoughts. Starting with Aaron Rodgers, who, of course, suffers a torn Achilles on Monday Night Football. He is done for the season at 39 years old. He will be turning 40 this season. Some early questions about whether or not he may try to come back next season. No way or no doubt, Rodgers has a different motivation in New York. He will work to recover quickly and play next season.
Well, I think he definitely will. The competitor in him, whether it's New York or anywhere, I think he realizes that, he owes it to the Jets. He was happy. And, look, the rehab's going to be tenuous, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be difficult. But what we've learned in life is if we don't have goals, we tend to not have the same motivation. And so the goal of returning has to be there for him to get better, even if he can't return. So I think, to me, this is clearly, I think he'll come back. He'll try. Now, can he? Will he be effective? I don't know. Stormy, the 4 plays I saw, I didn't think he was moving that well. It just didn't look good to me, but it was early, right? Maybe, you got to get your bones moving a little bit. But I do think he'll give it everything he has to try to come back and play next season.
Yeah, to your point, Michael, I mean, I'm 30 years old, and I know my body doesn't recover the same way, let alone being even farther down the line there for Aaron Rodgers. But the question is certainly warranted, but I do think that the competitor in him, despite the question marks that he had last offseason about whether or not he wanted to return to the game at all, I think he found what he was looking for, and he'll be back. How about the Bills? Let's go to the other side of the coin on Monday Night Football last night. The Bills should consider moving on from Josh Allen sooner rather than later. No way or no doubt.
Oh, come on, no way. Josh Allen's about 3 more offensive coordinators away from being the cause of the problem, and he's not the cause of the problem. They've got to figure it out. Again, I'll say this repeatedly as long as I continue. Quarterbacks are like baseball stadiums. If you don't build the offense around what he does well, then you're not going to highlight his skill strength. And I think ultimately they need to be a 6-back run team, but they don't want to risk him getting injured, and they're kind of betwixt and between because he's really not a rhythm thrower. He's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bang it out. He's not a rhythm thrower. He's a loose play RPO type guy. They haven't figured it out perfectly yet, and I don't think they have enough. He has enough trust in the other guys. Plus, this line isn't good enough. I mean, he got hit a bunch last night. Now, I know the Jets have a good front, but he got hit a bunch.
The reason this take, of course, making the rounds after the 4 turnovers last night, he has 84 since 2018, the most by a quarterback in the National Football League. And since week 1 of last season, he's averaging 2 turnovers per game. Let's go to Jimmy G with the Raiders.
Jimmy G.
Because all he does is
big
win.
In my house. I can tell you that. There's a long line of the women in my house and the Berman household, too, that want to just hang out with Jimmy G. It's incredible.
Michael,
it's unbelievable.
Even my dad says, you can't deny a good-looking man, and I think that
he's a handsome devil.
It's safe to say that's true about Jimmy G. But let's talk about his on-field performance because all he does is win, 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 no matter what, Michael, and he gets his debut win with the Raiders. 3-1 for the Raiders to make the playoffs. No way or no doubt he can lead the way.
Well, I don't think it's a no way. I think there's no doubt he can lead the way. Now, they're going to need the help on their defense. They got to continue to get better, but they're an improved team. They played better defensively last week. Russell Wilson had 37 completions for 37 attempts for 177 yards. They tackled poorly in the first half. A lot of the opportunities that the Broncos were able to accomplish, I mean, they turned the ball over, but Marcus Peters got called for holding. They stopped them on downs, and then they gave up a roughing the passer, which gave them another field goal. So I think the Raiders are improved. I think they're going to get better in the run game, and I think the team likes this guy. I mean, Jimmy G, even when he threw the pick, you could just sense the team didn't – there's a camaraderie and a toughness that you need to get from your quarterback, and he brings that to the table. Are they talented? I think they're good on offense. They'll need Jacoby Myers this week back playing if he can because he's in concussion protocol. However, that being said, I think they're a draft away from being a really legitimate team in the AFC West, assuming that Garoppolo stays healthy too.
Still the longest shot in the division at 9-1 right now, but don't look now. the only team in the AFC West with a win week 1. How about Tua Tagovailoa? Michael, you look at the odds board after what was a tremendous opening week win against the Los Angeles Chargers. He is now co-favorites with Patrick Mahomes, 7-1 for this year's MVP. No way or no doubt, those odds are deserved. He should be a co-favorite.
Well, I don't think they're deserved. There's no way they are. I don't know how Tyreek Hill isn't having those odds, because you take Tyreek Hill off that field, just take him off. As Al Davis would say, put him on our team. Just put him on our team. Let me see what that looks like. You know, like I've watched this game twice already, and I'm going to watch it a third time. Look, you know, Tua had a chance for a touch. He underthrew some passes. He plays well. He's got great accuracy. I'm not going to deny that. His arm strength is marginal. But these receivers are wide. I mean, for some reason, your man Staley decided to not double-team Hill. He's running wide through there. It was remarkable. And
don't call him my man.
Well, who else
I'm not on the Brandon Staley bandwagon. I don't know where that's
Why not?
coming
We'll
from.
just throw him to Femi. Was Twitter? I didn't even notice. Was Twitter Femi out last night? I don't even know if he came out last night.
Twitter Femi's never gone.
No, he's always there for us. I just think, to me, Tua does a great job throwing the ball on time and in rhythm. They really do. But if you don't rush him, like when you watch that tape, if you don't rush him inside and he can step up and throw it, it's a lot easier for him. But Hill, to me, that offense is the way they are because of one guy, the cheetah. And no one can cover him. No one in New England can cover him. No one around the league can cover him unless you double him.
Hey, he said maybe I'm not
Randy
a cheetah.
Moss.
I'm a lion. But
he is a lion.
To your point about the MVP odds, obviously we know it's no wide receiver has done that. He's a 50-1 shot in the MVP board. But Offensive Player of the Year, your new favorite at 8-1, 215 receiving yards that first day. He's also 8-1 to lead the league in receiving yards. Was 8-1 to lead the league in receiving yards. Now 2-1, was 11-1 for receiving touchdowns. Now 9-1, saw every single one of those numbers go down after the week 1 win. Baker Mayfield, Michael, no way or no doubt, should have shorter odds to win Comeback Player of the Year, a 40-1 shot, and his squad won week 1.
No way. I mean, if you watch the game, I think Minnesota was more of the reason they lost than Baker was the reason they won. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Baker, but, you know, I think they did the things they had to do in terms of what they were able. I mean, they gave up 270 yards at halftime in passing at the half to Kirk Cousins. And then, you know, it kind of fell apart. And Baker, you know, I mean, he didn't have a lot of time to throw. I think he was averaged 2.47 seconds in the pocket, which was one of the lowest times in terms of protection. But then when you look at it, you know, yards per attempt on the throw, he was at 4.3, which was actually fairly decent compared to most of the other guys playing that week. I mean, when you look at Daniel Jones was at 2.2, Burrow was at 2.1. So, you know, but I don't see this changing. The receivers help him tremendously, but it's still Baker. I think the first pass of his career as a Viking got tipped at the line of scrimmage.
In the Comeback Player of the Year market, I mentioned him at 40-1. Damar Hamlin, having not played on Monday Night Football, did make those odds shorten a little bit. Still an odds-on $2 favorite to win Comeback Player of the Year, but significantly shorter than we saw. Tua actually sitting there 7-1. I kind of like Calvin Ridley 10-1. He showed up and showed out to start things off, and probably going to continue to build on that. One more in the last 60 seconds. Anthony Richardson, rookie quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He proved himself to be the best rookie out the gate in this class. He's 5-1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, shortest odds for any of those young quarterbacks.
You know, he had 64% completion for him in the game, right? And that was well above what he was in preseason. He was at 44, and in college he was at 54. I thought they did a great job with him. The problem these teams have with rookie quarterbacks is the last 10 minutes of the game. They run out of offense. It's hard for them to kind of keep running the same plays because the defense isn't tuned to those last 10 minutes. But I thought he played the best of all of them.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.